There's a brown bottle in your medicine cabinet right now. You know the one. Pushed to the back behind the cough syrup and the half box of plasters, the label faded, the cap a little crusted, bought who knows how many years ago for a child's scraped knee. You've walked past it 1,000 times. You've spent good money at the store, on a cupboard, full of sprays and powders and special wipes. A different bottle for the glass, a different one for the grout, a different one for the mold, a different one for the laundry, while the one bottle that does near all of it sits in the dark, gathering dust. And the worst of it is, half those fancy bottles you paid $8 and $10 for, they've got the very same thing inside them as that old brown bottle. They just put a pretty label on it and charged you 10 times the price. Now, I want you to sit with this. There's a bottle you can buy for about $1, a single dollar. That'll refresh your sponges, wash your fruit, whiten your grout, clean your humidifier, lift the stains out of your mattress, sanitize your children's toys, kill the mold in your shower, save a drowning houseplant, shine your mirrors, brighten yellowed plastic back to white, clean your toothbrush, scour your trash bin, reset your dishwasher, soften your feet, dissolve a blood stain, and brighten a whole load of whitewash. $1 bottle. I worked it out one winter, sitting at my table with all the store cleaners it could stand in for lined up in front of me. And that $1 bottle was doing the work of close to $500 of separate products. They won't tell you that. They'd far rather sell you the $8 miracle cleaner with the same thing already inside it. My name is Anna Mae Wagler. I'm Amish, and I keep house and farm in the Milverton settlement up in Perth County, Ontario. Folks think the clever bottle in the cupboard is a modern invention. It's not. My mother kept it, and her mother kept it, and we never had a shelf of 12 different cleaners because we never needed one. The women in my family ran clean, healthy homes on a few plain things that did many jobs each. This is one of those things. And today I'm going to hand it to you the way it was handed to me. I'm going to show you all 18 ways we use it, counting down to the one that saves the most money of all, which is the biggest quiet swindle in the whole grocery store. I'm going to tell you why it works, so you never forget it. I'm going to give you the one safety word that truly matters. And there is one. And there's one use on this list near the end that I'm going to be honest with you about in a way the other folks teaching this won't be, because it's the one place I think people are being told something that isn't quite true. Stay with me for that part. It matters. Let me first tell you what it is, because once you understand it, every one of these 18 uses will make plain sense, and you'll never need to memorize a thing. The brown bottle holds hydrogen peroxide. Plain water is 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. Hydrogen peroxide is that same water, carrying one extra little piece of oxygen it doesn't want to hold on to. 2 hydrogen, 2 oxygen. A French chemist named Louis-Jacques Thénard first set it down on paper back in 1818. So this is no new thing. That one extra piece of oxygen is the whole secret. The peroxide is always trying to let it go. And when it lets go in a little burst, that escaping oxygen is what tears bacteria apart, lifts a stain, kills a mold spore, brightens a fiber. That fizzing you see when you pour it on a cut or a stain, that's not nothing. That's the oxygen leaving, doing its work right in front of your eyes. And here's the beautiful part. When it's finished, the peroxide has turned back into plain water and harmless oxygen. Nothing toxic left behind, nothing to rinse away in fear. It does its job, and then it becomes water again. That's why I'll put it on a thing a child holds when I'd never put bleach near it. And that, by the way, is why it always comes in a dark bottle, never a clear one. That extra oxygen is shy of light. If sunlight hits the liquid, the oxygen slips away early, and you're left with a bottle of plain water that does nothing. So here's a free trick before we even begin. Pour a little in your sink. If it fizzes, it's good and strong. If it just sits there flat and quiet, it's already turned to water. And it's time for a fresh bottle. Costs you $1 to find out. Before I go on to the 18, let me say one quiet thing, and then I won't bring it up again. I'm not selling you anything here. There's no bottle of mine to buy. All I want is for these old plain ways to reach the folks who were never taught them the way they were taught to me. The only way this little channel ever finds those folks is if you tap the subscribe button, because that's the only way the machine knows to carry it to more kitchens like yours. If that's the kind of help you want more of, subscribe, and you'll have done your part to keep the old knowledge moving. That's all. Now, let's get to work. Number 18, your kitchen sponge. A sponge goes sour and starts to smell within days, and most folks just throw it in the bin and reach for a new one. My grandmother didn't live in a throwaway world, and she'd have laughed at the idea. Soak that sponge in a half and half mix of peroxide and water. Watch it fizz. That fizz is the oxygen breaking down the bacteria and the old food caught deep in it. You'll get months out of one sponge instead of days. Number 17, washing your fruit and your vegetables. I don't trust plain tap water alone on a berry anymore. Fill your sink with cold water and add a good splash of peroxide. It kills the fungus spores living on the skin, the very ones that turn your raspberries to fuzz 2 days after you bring them home. Let them sit a minute. Then, and this matters, rinse them well in clean water after. You'll be amazed how much longer your produce keeps. And that's money straight back in your pocket every single week. Number 16, gray grout. Grout is full of tiny holes, so it drinks up dirt and goes gray. You don't need the harsh acid cleaners that eat away the seal on your floor over time. Spray the peroxide right along the grout lines and let it sit for 10 minutes. It whitens it natural. No choking fumes, no headache. The old bright white look without the chemical sting. Number 15, your humidifier. Now, for those of you up north where the winter air goes bone dry, or anyone running one in a child's room, you know that pink slime that grows in the tank. You don't want to be breathing that. Add 2 tablespoons of peroxide to the reservoir water. It keeps the tank clean and the air sweet, with none of the bleach smell. Set it and forget it. Number 14, your mattress. You can't throw a mattress in the wash, and they cost far too much to toss out over a stain. For a sweat mark, or a spill, or the accidents that come with little ones, lightly spray the spot with peroxide. It breaks down the matter in the stain and lifts it up to the surface where you can blot it clean away. The professional cleaners charge a fortune for this. It'll cost you about 3 cents. Number 13, toys. I've raised my share of children, and I never liked harsh chemicals on the things a baby puts straight in its mouth. Peroxide is the answer because it breaks down into nothing but water and oxygen. Spray the toys, let them air dry, and rest easy. No toxic film left behind. Number 12, mold in the shower. And here's what nobody tells you. Most folks grab the bleach the moment they see it. But bleach is lazy. It bleaches the color out of the mold so the spot looks clean, while the root of it lives on underneath. And in 2 weeks, it's back. It's like mowing a weed instead of pulling it. Peroxide doesn't just sit there, it reacts. That fizz is it tearing the mold apart by the root. Spray it in the shower corners, on the windowsills, on that rubber seal around the washer door. You stop cleaning the same spot over and over. Number 11, an old garden trick most folks have forgotten. If a houseplant or a seedling is wilting because you loved it with too much water, the roots are drowning. Smothering in the wet soil with no air. Mix 1 teaspoon of your 3% peroxide into a cup of water and pour it in. It releases a little burst of oxygen right down at the roots. Now, I'll tell you plain, this is a help in an emergency, not a magic cure. And the oxygen doesn't last long, so the real fix is to stop overwatering. But it's pulled many a struggling seedling back from the edge for me. Number 10, streak-free glass. The blue store sprays leave a waxy film that streaks the moment the sun comes through the window. Peroxide is a clean solvent. A little on a microfiber cloth cuts the oils and the fingerprints off a mirror, with not one streak left behind. Simplest, cheapest glass cleaner you'll ever use. Now, before we get to the second half, where the real savings live, let me give you that honest word I promised, because we're coming up on it. 2 of these uses touch your own body, and I want to be more careful with you than most folks are. Number 9, yellowed plastic. If your white things have gone an ugly yellow, an old appliance, a fan, the case of an old machine, that's just the sun working on the plastic over years. Brush peroxide over it, wrap it snug in cling film so it stays wet, and set it out in the sun for a few hours. The sunlight and the peroxide together pull the yellow right out, and it comes back white as new. For those of you in strong sun, the dry Southwest, Australia, the south of Europe, this works fast. For you under the gray skies, The Pacific Coast, Britain, the north of Germany, give it a longer day or do it in high summer. It needs the sun to work. Number 8, your toothbrush. It sits in a damp bathroom where germs love to gather. Once a week, drop the head in a cup of peroxide for a few minutes. It fizzes away what a plain rinse never touches. Number 7, the trash bin. Even with the bag gone, the smell lingers, and that's a film of bacteria stuck to the plastic itself. Spray the empty bin with peroxide, and it eats that film away and kills the odor at its source, instead of just covering it with a perfume. Number 6, the dishwasher. If yours has gone sour or cloudy, pour 1 cup of peroxide in the bottom and run a hot cycle empty. It cleans the seals and the drain where the grime hides, and your dishes come out truly clean. Number 5, tired feet, skip the costly foot peels and creams. Soak your feet 15 minutes in warm water with half peroxide. It softens the hard skin and helps with the itch of athlete's foot fungus. An old spa treatment for almost nothing. Number 4, a blood stain, fresh. Peroxide breaks blood down fast. Cut your finger in the kitchen and get a drop on a white apron or a light shirt. Dab the peroxide on straight away and watch it fizz the stain loose before it ever reaches the wash basket. But mind this, on dark or colored fabric, leave it only a moment, because given time, it'll lighten the color like a mild bleach. Test a hidden corner first. Number 3, and here's the honest word, a tiny dab of 3% peroxide on a Q-tip, touched to a blemish, can dry it and quiet the bacteria in it. Folks teaching this will tell you it's the same as the store-bought creams. It's not, and I'd rather you trust me than be impressed by me. The store acne creams use benzoyl peroxide, which is a different cousin altogether, made for the skin and meant to stay on. Plain hydrogen peroxide can sting and dry the skin, and used heavy or often can slow healing rather than help it. So if you use it here at all, use the smallest dab, now and then. Never raw and never daily. And for anything stubborn, see a skin doctor. Honest is worth more to me than impressive. Number 2, the dental rinse. Stop paying $8 for whitening mouthwash. Mix 1 part peroxide with 2 parts water and swish it as a rinse. It freshens the breath and brightens the teeth over time. Dentists have used a weak peroxide rinse for many years. The one rule, and it's firm, don't swallow it and don't do it every single day. A rinse, then spit a few times a week. And now, the one safety word, because it's the only thing on this whole list that can truly hurt you. And it's not the peroxide itself, it's this. Never ever mix hydrogen peroxide with bleach, and never mix it with vinegar in a closed bottle to store. Folks hear that peroxide and vinegar both clean and think mixing them makes something stronger. It makes something called peracetic acid. Harsh on your lungs and your eyes and sealed in a bottle, it can build pressure. Use them one at a time on a surface, rinsing between. Never marry them in a jar. And one more. The brown bottle from the chemist is the gentle 3% strength. And that's the only one you want for everything I've told you today. There's a much stronger kind sold as 35% food-grade peroxide. That one will burn your skin white in a moment. It's not for these tricks. Leave it on the shelf. The dollar brown bottle is your friend. The strong one is not. Now I want to take a moment, because this is the part that matters most. Look back at what we've just walked through. 1 brown bottle, $1. 18 jobs from the sponge to the laundry, each one a thing the store sells you a separate bottle for. So how can both those things be true at once? That it does all this and that almost nobody knows it? I won't tell you. There's a wicked man in a back room hiding the bottle from you. It's simpler and almost sadder than that. There's no money in a $1 bottle that does 18 jobs and lasts you half a year. There's a great deal of money in 18 separate bottles at $8 each that you buy again and again. Nobody runs an advertisement that says, look in your own medicine cabinet first. They run the ones with the sparkling kitchen and the smiling actress holding the name bottle. And so a whole world comes to believe that a clean home takes a cupboard full of special products, when their own grandmothers kept a cleaner home with a fraction of it. The knowledge didn't vanish because it stopped working. It went quiet, because quiet doesn't sell. And which brings me to that number 1, the biggest of them all. You've seen the big tubs of Oxygen Laundry Booster, $15 and more. Turn the tub around and read it. The thing that does the work is a powder that the moment it hits water releases hydrogen peroxide. That's the whole secret of it. You're paying $15 for a fancy way to add peroxide to your wash. So skip the middleman. Pour 1 cup of plain peroxide straight into your white load. It brightens, it disinfects, it lifts the sweat stains. 4 pennies. That one swap can cut a laundry budget near in half. My mother learned these things from her mother, and she handed them to me at the kitchen table the same way I'm handing them to you now, one at a time with the reason behind each so it would stick. That's how this knowledge has always traveled, not in a book on a shelf. From working hands to working hands, one kitchen to the next. The store bottles are only the version that got loud enough to be remembered. You can be the one in your family who remembers the quiet version. So here's what I want you to do this week. Go find that brown bottle or buy a fresh one for $1 and pour a little in the sink to be sure it still fizzes. If you want, spend the extra quarter for the kind that comes with the spray top right on it. Well worth it. Then pick 3 jobs from this list, the ones that pinch you most. Refresh your sponges. Reset your dishwasher. Tip a cup in your next whitewash. Just 3 this week and see for yourself. And keep that one rule close. Never mix it with bleach or vinegar, and use only the gentle brown bottle 3%. Then come tell me. In the comments below, which of the 18 are you going to try first? And what's the one store cleaner you've been overpaying for the longest? The bottle you're most glad to be rid of? And if your own mother or grandmother had a trick with the brown bottle that I missed, write it down for the rest of us. The comments under these videos have become a kind of book we're all writing together. The old plain ways saved before they slip away. I read every single one of them. The folks who kept these homes before us were not simple people. They were careful and they paid attention. And they knew the one bottle that did the work of 12. We're only just beginning to remember what they never forgot. Keep the brown bottle close, use it gently, and waste a little less than you did the week before. That's the whole of it.